These are the 7 best ways to redeem your American Express points to maximize their value. But first, you need to know how American Express points actually work because many people get this wrong. So when you use your American Express card, let's talk about the gold card for this example, you'll earn Forex points for every dollar you spend on dining. And when you use those points, the value of each of those points depends on what you're redeeming it for. Your goal should be to redeem them for a value of at least 1 cent per point. Otherwise, you're wasting your points. This means if you earn Forex back with dining on the gold card, then those 4 points per dollar should be equivalent to at least 4 cents. With that said, let's start with the lowest point to cent value, statement credits. Just like many other credit cards, you can redeem your points to pay off part or your entire statement. The way you do this is by going to the American Express portal, specifically in the rewards and benefits section, and you'll see that you have a couple different options. The first one being using your points for statement credits. When you redeem your points for statement credits, you'll see that you have a calculator that allows you to calculate how much the points you redeem are worth. And at the top, you'll see that you have a baseline of 10,000 points that are worth around $60. So to figure out how much each point is worth, and to determine if it's a good use of your points, use this formula. Take the cash value and divide it by the amount of points that are used. In this case, it would be $60 divided by 10,000 points, which will give you a value of 6/10 of a cent, which is absolutely trash. And just for this instance, to show you what the value of that is used in bulk, let's compare it to 100,000 points of part of an intro bonus. Those 100,000 points would be equivalent to around $600, which may sound good, but trust me, isn't. Remember, we want at least 1 cent per point, almost 60% more than this. So while this may be one of the easiest ways to redeem the points, this is by far the best in terms of value. In my opinion, with a value of 6/10 of a cent per point, you're better off with a cashback credit card. But what about the next way you can redeem your points? By paying at checkout. With American Express, you can easily check out from different brands like Grubhub, Best Buy, and Amazon using just your points. This process is pretty easy since all you have to do is connect your American Express account to the brand. For this example, we'll connect it to the Amazon account. Once you're connected, you'll have the option to pay with points, and this is where you'll have to decide whether or not it's worth it. For example, I added a card game that was priced at around $34.82 after tax. This would require 4,974 points. So with a calculation of $34.82 divided by 4,974 points, you'll get a value of 7/10 of a cent. It's better than redeeming for a statement credit, but it's still absolute garbage. Like if you have 100,000 American Express points and you spend it all here, it does bring the value up to $700, but I think we can do better than that. The next option you have is to redeem for gift cards. One of the best parts about redeeming for gift cards is that you have a lot more brands to choose from, and in addition to that, not only do you have the online digital gift card redemption, but you can also redeem them for physical gift cards as well if you want to use it for an actual gift. So how do you redeem your points for gift cards? In the same section as rewards and benefits, you'll see that you have the option to select companies like Instacart, Target, Macy's, and more. But let's remember our goal is to redeem our points for a value of at least 1 cent or above. So let's say you want to redeem your points for an Airbnb gift card. You can see that the redemption value is $50 for 7,143 points, which when you plug into the formula equals around 7/10 of a cent per points. Again, not good, but with gift cards there are other options, like redeeming 2,500 points for a $25 Adidas gift card, which brings the value all the way up to a beautiful 1 cent per point goal, finally matching our minimum threshold. The only thing that really sucks about this is that because there are so many brands, it makes it difficult to have to search through all the companies to actually decide which brands are actually worth it or not. Luckily, there are better and easier options to maximize your points, like with hotels. American Express actually has some great partnerships with hotel brands like Marriott and Hilton, and because of this, you'll actually be able to use that partnership to your advantage. But we'll get back to that in a second. So how do you redeem your points for hotel stays? Well, travel has its own section, and while you can book pretty much any hotel, American Express makes it pretty easy for you by curating all of its partners in one section called the Find Hotels and Resorts. It's under this tab where you'll find the hotels where points equal at least 1 cent per point. Like this hotel in the Maldives that goes for $1,700 a night or 170,000 points. Or something simpler like this hotel in Dubai that goes for $165 or 16,000 points a night. Either way, you can get that 1 cent per point value minimum you should be looking for. But do you remember that Hilton and Marriott partnership I mentioned before? Well, if you're a Platinum card holder, not only will you have the ability to redeem your points for a hotel stay, but you can also upgrade the status with either of these hotels or their subsidiaries. For Marriott, that means upgrading to the Marriott Gold Elite status, which normally requires 25 nights, and for Hilton, that means upgrading to the Hilton Honors Gold status, which normally requires 40-night stay, meaning you'll be eligible for free room upgrades if they're available, food credits, and more. You do have to enroll in these statuses, so make sure you do that well before booking the hotel stay because it does take a couple days to register. Now, this is all great, but there is still one more thing you can do with your hotel benefits that allows you to maximize your points and make your stay even more cost efficient. If you didn't know, the American Express Gold Card allows you a $100 hotel credit which can be used towards eligible purchases such as food, beverages, spa, and more. In addition to that, with the Platinum Card, you'll also have a $200 hotel credit which you can use for prepaid hotels through the same fine hotels and resorts. With either of these credits, status upgrades, and point value, the hotel redemption is definitely one of the best options when it comes to maximizing your American Express account. Next, the fifth way to redeem your points is with flights. In the same travel section, you'll see you have the option to book any of your flights. Once you select your flight, you'll see you'll have a range of choices from multiple different airlines, and with American Express, like in the hotel section, you'll see you have the prices next to the points. So in this case, a flight from New York to London will cost you around $1,100 or 110,000 points, which gives you a pretty easy conversion ratio of 1 cent per point, exactly in line with our minimum value goal. And I love that they make this travel value as solid as it is, but is that it? Well, air travel has some of the easiest conversions possible because you have the simple 1-to-1 ratio of cents to points, and in addition to that, with the Platinum Card, you'll also have lounge access. However, this card does have one more benefit you should be taking advantage of, which is the $200 a year airline fee credit. This credit, unlike the hotel credit, can't be used for booking directly. However, it can be used for airline incidentals, one of the most common being checked bag. Now, that airline fee credit is only for one select airline a year, so make sure you choose wisely. But getting back to the points, there are two more ways to redeem them for travel that are way more valuable than this. And the first is economy seats with transfer partners. If you don't know what a transfer partner is, let me explain. We just talked about using your points for air travel and receiving a value of 1 cent per point. However, American Express actually has partners where you can transfer your points out from American Express to the airline or hotel portal. Of all the ways to use your points, this requires a little bit more effort, but is one of the most valuable ways to redeem them. Do you know when you see people on social media talking about how they flew from here to there and there to here on points, and it seems like they're traveling all the time? That's because they're maximizing their points by using transfer partners. Using the American Express portal for travel is okay, but you can easily use up all your points very, very, very fast. However, when you transfer your points from American Express to airlines, you can end up getting similar flights for half the amount of points. Again, this part is a little bit confusing, so just stick with me. Let's start with the example of booking a basic economy seat for a flight going from New York to France. This flight would cost around $760 or 76,000 points, equaling a point value of 1 cent per point. Not bad, but when you're looking at transferring your points out to airlines, instead of the flight costing you 76,000 points or $760, it will only cost you around 26,000 points and $87. A lot less. Now, you do have to come out of pocket a little bit with cash, but the amount that you're saving is an extra 50,000 points, which is insane. At this valuation, each point is worth around 2.5 cents a piece, a lot better than the 1 cent per point you were getting before. And for even more reference, let's compare this again to the 100,000 points you might earn with an intro bonus. At 2.5 cents per point, this would put that 100,000 points at a value of $2,500. By the way, if you want to find any welcome offer with the Platinum and Gold card, I'll leave an affiliate link in the description below that helps support the channels. Thanks in advance if you do choose to use that, but let's get back to it. Like I said, transferring your points is a bit more work, not just because you have to transfer them to the right partner, but because you also have to find the right partner, meaning going back and forth between airlines, entering your destination, date, and sorting for the cheapest option. Or at least that's how an amateur would do it. But you're subscribed to this channel, so I got you. With that said, here's how pros search for flight deals instead of going through the tedious process of searching each airline. Since you have the American Express card, you can use a site called Point Me. This is free for card members, by the way, and it's a site that allows you to search for your destination and date and see all the partner airlines for American Express in one place. Then once you've found the flight, it will go through step by step on how to redeem those points for miles and book on that airline. For example, British Airways is partnered with American Airlines, but American Express is only partnered with British Airways. So to get a flight with your American Express points, you'll have to transfer your points out sometimes for the cheap option on American Airlines through British Airways first. This site makes it pretty simple though by showing you the exact step-by-step process from creating the British Airways account to booking the actual flight with American Airlines. And I know this sounds sponsored, but this is literally just a benefit of the Platinum Card. Now, one more word to the wise if you actually want to find the best deals out there. You'll want to start looking at flights around 9 to 12 months out because that's when many airlines start listing flights that can be booked with points. And when those good point values are gone, you'll be stuck with the less than favorable seats. The next way to redeem your points is for business and first class seats. I know this sounds crazy, but trust the process. When it comes to flights, this is where many people dream of sitting, but can never afford. However, luckily for you, this is where some of the real point magic happens. Let's take this one example of flying from New York to Dubai in business class on Turkish Airlines, where your ticket would cost almost $5,000 or almost 500,000 points, which if you have is great, but I'm sure you'd be happy to spend a lot less. So let's see how much less it would cost with transferring out your points. More than 5 times less the amount of points you would have otherwise spent. This gives us a cent to point ratio of a little over 5 cents per point, which is amazing. Now, is there any difference between redeeming your points for business class with transfer partners? Not really. It's basically the same when you redeem your points for economy, where you transfer your points from American Express to the airline of your choice. But there is a clearly big difference in terms of the point value. And this leads me to something that you've got to start understanding. While this is a huge perk of the Platinum Card, there are a lot more that you don't even know about. Click here to learn the secret perks and benefits the Platinum Card has to offer you didn't know about, and see you there. Bye.